Without good blocking, your team's not going anywhere. Cisco blocks cyber attacks for customers around the world, including the entire Fortune 100 and the NFL. Because when the game is on the line, and it's always on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
Marco Wilson, what did you remember about seeing him when you guys prepared to play the Cardinals last year? What does he have going for him?
Yeah, Marco had a good career at Florida, good size, runs well, and experienced.
Had Nathan Walk now for a few weeks. What have you learned about him in time that you've been working with?
Good. Attentive, sharp kid, works hard. Gets here early, stays late. Done a good job, and things we've asked him to do. He hasn't had a lot of reps running our offense, but he's had some. Been a good guy to work with. No issues.
Bill, I know it's not surprising given his track record over 16 years, but a lot of guys talked about, including Chet Ryland, talked about Matthew Slater's effect on them during the game on Sunday night in Denver. And we got a couple weeks left in the season. Who knows what lies ahead of his future. But when you think back to the spring of 2008, I guess you couldn't envision the kind of impact you could possibly have, but were there any clues, any insights to the kind of extraordinary person this was, on and off the field?
I don't think there's any question about that. Coming out of UCLA, all the character recommendations were the very highest. But he's had a tremendous career. But made a lot of improvement. He identified the things he needed to work on. Figured out what his role was and worked very hard to maximize his role. He's done obviously very, very well with it. All the Pro Bowls and recognition that's so well deserved. And personally, what he brings to the team off the field, leadership, work ethic, guidance, motivation, etc. is very unique and extraordinary. At the very top.
How about the way he's represented the facet of the game that's often overlooked, but obviously very important to you?
Yeah, he's just about the perfect player, and he does everything you want him to do for your team. Does everything. He's the first guy in, last one out, and is a minimal playtime player in terms of the total number of plays he plays, but the way he trains, the way he prepares, communication, does everything he can to help the team is just, has tremendous total respect from everybody in the organization, players, coaches, staff, you name it. And he's earned it, and he earns it every day. He doesn't rest on anything he's done in the past. He comes in and every day is his first day. It's kind of like Scott O'Brien said a long time ago, every day comes in like he might get cut that day, and prepares and practices and performs like, if I don't do good today, I might not be here tomorrow. And it's a tremendous attitude.
What's allowed Demario Douglas to have the production he's had this year?
Sorry?
So what's allowed Demario Douglas to have the production that he's had this year?
Just taking advantage of his opportunities. He's certainly earned a lot of them. We've also had banged up at receiver. So a couple of guys that have had a lot of experience and had a lot of production for us. KB, Juju last week wasn't out there, and so that's also provided more opportunities for him as well. But he's a smart kid, can do multiple things, play multiple positions, and picks up the game plan, has good instincts. I think quarterback gained a lot of confidence in him early because he kind of knows how to get open and does the right thing on the routes that they expect him to do. For the most part, there's some experience and timing issues, but he does a good job of that, and just his natural receiver instincts, which all quarterbacks love.
Bill told us that M in his first name is supposed to be capitalized. Did you have any idea about that? DeMar.
I'm gonna miss that one.
He said he also did until the third grade, so I think we're all kind of learning together.
Okay. Make sure I get that right when I write it down.
Is Keyshawn back with the team still? Keyshawn Booty, it's like he's in his practice personally.
Yeah. I think he's all set.
Coach, talk a little bit about what you've seen in terms of a difference between where Buffalo was under Dorsey a few weeks ago when you played them to where they are now under Brady. Have you guys noticed in your preparation any difference in their scheme, or are they still running what they have been running with some tweaks?
Yeah, I think I covered that on Wednesday. No changes. There's definitely some differences, but they're subtle. And I think as time goes on, more will be declared. But it's basically the same offense. But I think there have been some, definitely some changes in the way Brady's called the game, and some of the things he's done. It looks like game planning wise, but there's not a ton of evidence here, so we'll prepare for what we've seen, and whatever they decide to do, they decide to do. We can't control that.
Bill, at this point in your career, how important is coaching and managing personalities as well as skill sets? We know how well you manage skill sets, but also each individual's personality.
Yeah, it's always been important. It's part of every team. I learned that in my first year of coaching, and certainly held true, all my time as a coordinator, as head coach. Come back to the Giants and Cleveland, my time here. So, yeah, it's a people business. You're working with a lot of people, coaches, players. Sometimes their roles change, so sometimes their situation changes. We all get older. We all hopefully mature a little bit along the way, especially working with younger players. So where they are at 21 or 22 and where they are at 30 to maybe 35, I mean, there's a lot of difference there too, like there's for all of us as we go through those stages. So yeah, that's all part of it.
Increased trash talk in the locker room between the Alabama and the Michigan guys?
Not too much. I'm sure it'll be there. Well, it would depend on what the results are. There's before the game, and then there's after the game. So, but yeah, it'd be an interesting weekend. Big win for Jed last night. I'm happy for him. He's done a tremendous job down there. In every game, lost 3 games with 8 points. They'll probably be a top 10 team. It's unbelievable from the program he took over. I forget how many straight they'd lost. I can't keep track. Pac-12 games. Guys never won a game. I mean, it's unbelievable. What a year they've had. He's done a great job.
Coach, Rodney Harrison was named a finalist for the Hall of Fame this week. I was just wondering, what did he bring to the team when he was here? I know you've spoken on him a lot, but
Yeah, everything. Best safety I've coached. There's a couple other ones that I've coached that are in the Hall of Fame, but fantastic player, person, great competitor, could do it all. One of the most versatile players I've ever coached. He could cover. He really could play corner. He was a great blitzer. He was a great tackler. It's really, really, really hard to block in a running game as a blitzer, kickoff coverage, things like that. It's very explosive. I was 220 pounds, whatever he was. But I mean, he was a thumper. He was a contact player, but ran well, very instinctive. Did a great job of disguising coverages. Worked well with his teammates, with Eugene, and some different safeties we had back there. But through his career, just He's just a heck of a football player. He's one of the best I've ever coached. I mean, he'd certainly be on my all-time team without question. Behind Taylor, but I mean, he would certainly be, you know, he'd be right up there. Tremendous player. Great practice player, too. Made everybody else on the team better. If you practiced against him, you got better or you got embarrassed, one of the two. And he brought a level of competitiveness, intensity, focus, and brought a higher level of practice to the team, which helped everybody. You know, there's a lot of things that don't ever show up in the stats or anything like that, but tremendous respect for what he did as a player, what he brought to our team, how much he meant to our team, and you know what we lost when we lost him. I mean, we lost a great player Monday through Monday. It wasn't just on Sunday. What he brought to the team every day of the week, every day he walked into the building, every time he stepped on the field was all positive and impressive. So certainly hope he gets recognized. I think he definitely deserves it. This guy's a great football player, great teammate.
Do you have the rest of that all-time team of yours, Sandy?
No. Someday, but not right now. We're not doing that now. Taylor will be on it, and Harrison will be on it. So Brady and
I was
Gronkowski.
going to say certain quarterback.
Yeah.
You wouldn't Slater on that list as well?
Well, I think Slater really is eventually got to be a Hall of Fame candidate. I mean, as a coverage player, not as a specialist, right? I mean, for what he is, and he's not a returner. So he's in a very unique category, one that I don't think is represented in the Hall of Fame, but based on what he did during his career, the length of time he did it, and at the level he's done it at. And again, since there's no criteria for the Hall of Fame, there's no criteria. But I would say this guy has been as productive as anybody has ever been at his position throughout his entire career, which is very lengthy. So I think he's the best that's ever done what he's done. Whether that's Hall of Fame worthy or not that's a different subject that I don't have a say in, but I can't imagine put anybody in there ahead of him at that position.
Do you see him as exclusive of Tasker? Because I've heard some Hall of Fame selectors, people say Tasker would have to go in first before.
Yeah, I think Slater's done more than Tasker. I mean, I respect Tasker, but just honestly think he's done more. I'm sure some people disagree with that, but those two would be at that position. Yeah.
Speaking of Michigan and Alabama and Brady, he led that comeback when it came to bowl game.
Yeah, he did.
And
That was his best game in college. It was a great game. In the Orange Bowl. It was a hell of a game.
I mean, think about, and it's not to cast judgment on them, but a lot of guys popped out of bowl games today. Is there a missed opportunity there? Do you guys show you something? It can mean anything when you see a player, can you sell a game like that, which going against maybe an intersectional opponent, big time opponent?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not really going to comment on that. I'm not a college coach, so I know there's a lot of factors that go into those things. I'll just try to coach the team I'm coaching and do as good a job as I can doing that. But, I mean, while we're at good win for BC and really good win for Shiano. It's a great job with Rutgers, bowl win, first time in whatever it was, 10 years. Greg's done a great job there. There's another team that was, had pretty little success when he took over, kind of like what Jed went to Arizona. And Coach Shiano's done a great job. I was really happy for him. He looked good holding that trophy up there.
Bill, over the last few weeks, I've gotten to talk to some players in the locker room and ask them why they feel the locker room is so united around each other. They've given me some interesting answers. The best answer I've gotten is it's a family environment in there. I want to know what's your role in curating that family environment.
Yeah, well, it's just, team building, kind of what we've always done. So we're all coaches, staff, players, we're all, here together working towards a common goal and, try to respect and work with each other. All right. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.